new credit sweep method. Now, you're probably going to watch this on the replay because not a lot of people visit YouTube at this time in the morning unless they're driving to work, and you should not be driving and watching videos or watching lives. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is going to work for you if you have very difficult accounts like you have portfolio recovery, you have Midland, you have, charge-offs with American Express, with NFCU, USAA. Those are very, very difficult accounts, and I'm going to tell you how to remove them very, very easily. Now, can this be used on other types of accounts that are not as difficult? Yes, it most definitely can be. All right, but you're going to want to pay attention, okay? And we're not going to make this long. This is going to be about 10 minutes before my client gets here, all right? So let's get to it. Number one, if you are submitting disputes to the credit bureaus and you are not doing your personal info first, you need to reconfigure everything that you're doing. You need to understand that these accounts are added to your credit report via your personal information, right? What do they use to add these things to your credit report? Your name, your date of birth, your social, your address, yada, yada, yada. So why wouldn't it be step number one for you to ensure that you go and remove these extra addresses, these extra names, were you previously married and, you got a divorce, or your maiden name is on there and you only want your married name, or someone else has a very similar name, you're a senior, you're a junior, you're a third, you're a whatever. You need to only have one name, one phone number. Get rid of that phone number, actually. One address, one social, one date of birth. And, let's not touch your employers. Like, don't go meddling in that stuff. But that's what you want. If you have more on there than that, then you are already losing that battle before you ever, went to war, okay? They're like, hey, you're going to war. Oh, you lost, right? That is what it's like when you don't take care of this step, the very first thing, okay? That is step number one. This is the way that you're going to do it. This is really, really important. So I need you to pay attention, okay? You need to, number one, go and act like you're going to do an online dispute. No, I'm not telling you to dispute online. I'm telling you to act like you're going to go to do an online dispute. The way that you do this is by going to transunion.com. It's like transunion.com/ some crap and other. Equifax, you're going to go to equifax.com, scroll to the bottom, and it'll say start dispute or dispute credit report or something. Same with Experian. Go to the bottom of the page and dispute credit report or whatever. Put your personal information in and access your credit report. That's step number one. Number two, go to the personal information section and attempt to dispute those addresses, okay? We can start with addresses and we can move on from there. If it doesn't let you because it's attached to a negative account or attached to an account, it is what it is. Let's move forward from there. So attempt to dispute personal info only online. That's how you do it. Immediately after that, you are going to fax a letter to all three bureaus. If you don't know how to access the faxes, because it changes every day, sometimes it's not available, for a whole 2 years it wasn't available, just look it up on the forums, go to Facebook. Somebody will have the current fax numbers. Or if you know someone, such as myself, that has credit repair software, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have access to the current faxes, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to write a regular ass personal info dispute. I never lived at this address. This was never my name, etc., etc. This was never my phone number, okay? You can also say, this was my dad's name. This was whatever you need to say, put it in that dispute, and you need to fax it over immediately after either attempting to or successfully disputing your personal info online, okay? Next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna print out that same freaking letter and you're gonna stick that shit in the mail, okay? Literally 1, 2, 3. Online, fax, stick that shit in the mail, all right? I don't want you to send it regular mail. I want you to send it certified. Do not do the return receipt thing. It's just going to sit there forever. It doesn't need to go priority. It just needs to go certified, okay? So now we've done our personal info. Guess what? You are not done with your personal info. You now need to go back online and you are going to submit a CFPB complaint to all three bureaus. Use the same text for each of the complaints, okay? You are going to say the same thing that you put in your letter. Guess what? You can copy the text from your letter and put it into your complaint and add at the top that the reason that you are submitting this complaint is because this information doesn't belong to you, never lived there, yada, yada, yada. You get my drift? Okay. Print out a copy of that complaint because you're going to need it in the future. Now, if you have medical collections, very simple collections like utility bills, whatever, those are not difficult, okay? Those are like the easiest things to remove since like ever, all right? So what you're going to do with those is use the debt validation. We don't need to talk about that. I have like multiple videos, and my #1 of all time videos from like 2017 tells you step by step how to actually do that and how to not do it the wrong way. Okay, so those are out of the way. Now let's talk about what you're going to do with these very difficult accounts like USAA and Midland, Portfolio, etc., etc. What you're going to do, listen carefully, is after going through almost 3,000 of my videos, you are going to write a factual dispute. No, I'm just kidding. So what you're going to do is you are going to very, very simply, after disputing your personal info, very simply write a factual dispute, but it's going to be extremely, extremely simple. Now, I'm not saying that you want to make it like stupid, dumb simple. What I'm saying is it needs to very specifically have an Eoscar code attached to your dispute reason. Now, if you don't know anything about Eoscar codes and all that kind of stuff, go back and watch my Eoscar code videos. I think YouTube still has the search feature, but if it doesn't, I did one within the last 3 months, okay? So if I remember, when I get back to my computer after this, after I meet with my client, I will put a link to it, but you are going to use Eoscar codes. You are going to, after your personal info and after a one-liner that says this information needs to be deleted, in your dispute reasons themselves, it needs to say Eoscar code example 112 hyphen or dash your dispute reason, okay? The Eoscar code reason that you are going to 9 times out of 10 use is going to be 112. I am almost positive, and that would be inaccuracy. Now, why are we giving them the code? We're giving them the code because there is no them. It's a freaking computer that's going to read your letter, and we need to, most of the time, do its job for them so that your letter and your dispute can be categorized properly, and it can make this process go faster versus you waiting, I don't know, 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, a million months to remove your negative items. If you don't want to wait a million months, then this is what you need to be doing. Use Eoscar code 112 and it's delete for inaccuracy. You don't need to put Eoscar code 112 delete for inaccuracy. It just needs to say the creditor name, the account number, Eoscar code 112 dash followed by your dispute reason. Your dispute reason needs to include the actual facts taken from the credit report that support your, request or demand for deletion. So for example, if you have different date last paid, or that you initially disputed, like a couple months ago, they didn't put the required notice of dispute, that's a violation. Whatever it is, it needs to go in there, and it needs to be for inaccuracy. So an example of something for USAA or NFCU, 9 times out of 10, it's going to have different dates last paid. Date last paid is going to be your #1 dispute outside of blatant inaccuracies at the top of the hierarchy. So we would say something like delete for inaccuracy because the date last paid reports as this on this bureau, this on this bureau, this on this bureau, okay? And so that's it. You included the facts, you included your reason, you included the Eoscar code, and boom, you are done. List all of your accounts the way that you need to, using that information, and obviously close out your letter, ask for a new credit report. They're not going to send you one, but just put it on there just for shits and giggles. Don't sign anything, because your signature can go on like contracts and all that kind of stuff that you actually never legitimately signed, okay? So you're not going to sign it, but you are going to send it. You're going to send it certified, does not have to be return receipt. And then I missed one thing. With that letter, you need to include your copy of your complaint regarding your personal info, because your personal info is not being disputed with your accounts, but this tells the bureaus, I am one to make complaints, and I'm going to make a ruckus about this if you do not do what I'm telling you to do, which is do your freaking job, okay? So include all of your accounts all on the same page, use your Eoscar codes. You can find them online, very simply. Go to Google and ask for or whatever search engine you want to use, and ask for a list of Eoscar codes. That's all you gotta ask for, and you'll get a link, same as I did, and you'll be able to see all of the codes on a PDF. But again, it's probably going to be 112 inaccuracy. If something else fits it better, like was included in bankruptcy but not listed as included in bankruptcy or whatever, use that, okay? You have to understand the credit bureaus, or the system, the computer at the credit bureaus, after it reads your letter, it's going to convert it into a code for you. And you don't want that, because they only use like 4 of 29 different codes. There's 29 codes. Why aren't they using 29 codes? So now we did our personal info. Now we did our, 3 collections that we have, or 5 collections or 20 collections that we have. We did our super difficult accounts. Now you also have to go and do your inquiries. This is all happening in the same day. You need to do your complaints, your personal info, your inquiries, your everything all at the same time. That shit needs to go out the door same day. Okay, do not put days in between doing this. All right, so do your inquiries. Your inquiries are not difficult. I have a whole webinar that I reposted, because it initially was a paid one that I released for free recently. You could find that in my most recent videos, my long form most recent videos. I give you all of my secrets on how to remove inquiries permanently. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something. If you don't want to do this, because it's a lot of work, and if you don't do it the right way, it's just not going to work for you. Hello, go to my740.com, my740.com, or text me. My number is down in the description. I will see if I can do this for you. Is this the same way that I would do it for you? No, it's not, because I have a totally different method that uses factual disputes, Eoscar codes, and a couple other things. But this is something that you can do without hiring someone to do it for you, that works very, very quickly, permanently, legally, and you don't have to come out of pocket for someone that's not gonna, if you go somewhere else, someone's not going to do something for you. They're not going to do all the negative items in all 3 bureaus and blah, blah, blah. If you're going to have someone do it for you, it should be me, all right? Because I've been doing this for 9 million years. I'm going to actually remove these for you. If you don't have the money to do so, not a problem. I have 3,000 videos that walk you through step by step. If you want to access the entire DIY, it's $199. Shoot me a text. I will get it over to you, send it over to you via email. Again, one-time payment of $199. If you want to access everything, it's a one-time payment of $299. All right, so my client is here. I actually just heard them pull up, so I need to go, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to smash that like, subscribe if you haven't done so, and after this becomes a replay, let me know if you, number 1, have questions, and number 2, if you do this and what your results were. Okay, so that's it. I will see you later.